The Power Pod is an exclusive WSB radio production.
You guys have got to be guilty of doing the smell test at least once or twice.
I do smell it. Just don't want to make sure everything I'm right before he come over.
This is The Power Pod with Randi Okray, Christina Aicklen, Nicole Bennett, and your host, WSB's Jared Yamamoto.
Oh, wow. That booming voice guy has gotten so authoritative around here. I am Jared Yamamoto, and in case you didn't know, I'm on the Von Hessler Doctrine, which you can hear on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Still getting used to the new name. We got a new transmitter this week in Atlanta, so it's been a huge week for us, a big giveaway week as well, too, on WSB. We're having a lot of fun, but this is my Power Pod. This is completely different from all that stuff. We're connected with WSB. We love our WSB fam, but the Power Pod is a weekly recap show where we cover the current events of the week. We're not afraid to get serious, and we're not afraid to have a little fun, too, at the same time. And it would be crazy if I did this show by myself. I'm surrounded by my lovely cast of ladies here. We'll start with Randi over there. Randi, how are you doing?
I'm good, Jay. Ready? How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I can't wait to get into our Power Pod bonding moment, because I saw a different side of Randi this past weekend.
Shh, be quiet.
I see her over there. There she is with her little alien headphones on.
Hey.
That's Nicoleo over there. Nicole, how are we doing?
Greetings, Earthlings.
Greetings. How are you?
I'm glad to see you. I'm glad that you made it in. We've got a full staff there. There's Christina over there, too.
Hey, I'm back
Tina's
and ready
back.
to play.
Glad to have the entire crew back. We've got a live studio audience here today, too, so this is awesome. We're going to be doing our second Modern Dating in Atlanta special. In just a little bit, we've got the men speaking today. We had the single women speak before, and later on in the show, we're going to have the single men speak about things. They've heard what the women had to say, and you know what? I'm just happy to have a little extra testosterone in the room because, first of all, there was the one show where all of you guys were cycled up at the same time, the Even Flow episode.
Sir.
And
Oh
my gosh.
Can you let that go?
Let's just say I felt like I had to survive in this room. I didn't think I was going to make it out of that episode alive.
We got to survive with you every day, just to be clear about that.
Exactly.
So it'll be nice to have a little testosterone. And another thing with the single women's episode is when you have 5 women and one man interacting like that, there's not a lot of balance there. So I think that you ladies will offer a lot of insight to these aspiring gentlemen that are going to come join us later on in the show and hopefully give them some advice. But you know what? This week has just been driving me crazy because all I keep hearing is recession this, China that, Trump this, blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of this stuff. I want to have fun this week. We had an amazing experience all together. This is the first time I think that the whole Power Pod crew came out together where we had Nicole, we had Christina, we had Randi O, and her significant other came out as well. For some reason, Nicole didn't bring her hubby out.
He was out of town.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that.
Don't
that.
gang up on Nicole.
What do you think? I drugged him and left him at home?
Well,
We didn't suggest that, Nicole. Just to be clear.
I just gave myself away.
The next headline for the Power Pod.
Yeah, it was a weird scenario because I know that your husband loves EDM music.
Oh, he's
and
so bummed he missed it.
if you're a fan of this show and the Von Hessler Doctrine, you know that I love electronic dance music. I like almost all different differentiations of it, and we went and saw Moon Boots all together, and it was a great bonding experience. We were so excited to see Randi O come out for that too.
Oh, yeah.
Randi, that was your first EDM show. What'd you think?
I loved it. Like I said, I didn't know what EDM was. I'm still not really sure what that means because, like I said, I told Tina, or I told you, Nicole, I hear that music like at Forever 21 and H&M. And I was like, oh, I like it, but I didn't know what it was called. So, honey, I was in my element, and I didn't even know it was my element.
So we saw this artist. His name is Moon Boots, and he's a house DJ, and he played a 3-hour set on Saturday night here in Atlanta. And oh my gosh, I mean, first of all, mad props to him for doing a 3-hour set. Some of my group, including myself, did not make it the entire night. I made it till 2, and I was just steamed. Like, I mean, we had a brunch excursion in our great city for the entire day and had a dinner party and then tried to make it as long as we could for that show. But most DJs now only do an hour 45 to 2 hour sets now. So it's nice to see a DJ go back to the old school roots like that. Just throw the down when he's for 3 hours like that. And I mean, so Nicole, I know you like EDM over there. I mean, what did you think of the whole Power Pod bonding experience?
I loved it. I really did. It goes without saying, but I genuinely had so much fun with. Oh, there we go.
Hey.
It's like I'm brought back.
Yeah.
We just need tequila.
Back in Ubu.
Which I have. No, I don't have any. Right?
Wait, I want to make a comment about Nicole. First of all, so, you know, me and Nicole work at the newsroom together as digital producers, correct? Yep. This side of Nicole, I always thought Nicole was like funny and witty, but y'all, Nicole is a party girl. She was dancing her little booty off, and I thought she was the life of the party. I absolutely enjoyed her.
We had a good time.
That's why I'm telling you, Randy, you need to consider going to the Imagine Music Festival in September with us. That's the 4th week in September, but the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And that's a tradition that Nicole actually went last year. I was there. We camped in different campsites, but now that EDM festival here in the Atlanta area, down at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, fantastic vibes. I've done it now. This will be probably my 4th or 5th year doing that. So I'm going to be camping out there, and we're actually going to combine campsites.
I know.
What is this
I'm so
camping?
excited.
You camp at a festival?
You say camping and you lost me.
Me too.
I don't
I'm
know
like,
if I can
wait.
do the camping thing.
Well,
What's that?
do you guys not like music? Like, I mean, you go out there. I mean, these are. I mean, you'll hear this for 3 days straight.
Nobody sleeps too.
Okay, that
It's
would get
just-
kind of after.
Yeah, nobody
Well, there's
sleeps.
different kinds of.
Hey, man,
EDM,
come on to
not
my
just
tent.
house music.
We'll have a good time.
You have a real tent? People like sleep
there
there
are tents,
overnight?
yes.
Oh yeah.
Shut up. What?
We might be investing in an RV this year.
Wait
though,
a minute.
Which I'd be really.
This is a real thing.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is a big
It is
deal.
a real thing.
So you sleep at this Atlanta Motor Speedway overnight for a weekend? I
Yeah,
mean,
so they have
3
the
days.
festival. You've been to a music festival
I
before,
have.
right? Okay, so music festivals, they have, I think, want to say 6 or 7 different stages. The stages go from 6 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning usually, and then the after parties afterward. Oh man, those things you'll end up you'll end up with those things all night long. The best time to sleep is like that that stretch from I think 6 a.m. until about 10
At a certain
a.m. when
point,
it's
you
just
hear
cool.
it just goes quiet,
Yeah.
and everybody's sleeping.
Everyone's
but
like, "All right, rest
it's
up for the next
only
day."
right. It's just a couple hours before everybody starts getting up again.
really?
Yeah.
Well, I think what
Okay.
Nicole and I learned last year is we came back the Tuesday after that festival, and we both were just regretting our lives. So I think
Yeah.
you need like a 2-day buffer after that one, just because I mean. EDM music is definitely like a party music scene like that, but they've extended this thing now to 4 days. And in the next couple shows, we're going to get the Imagine founders on. So that's going to be a lot of fun to talk to them and see what they have to say about the festival and all the new things that are going on. So hopefully we can do another Power Pod powwow at the Imagine Music Festival.
Just to confirm those dates, you said it's going to be 4 days now?
Yeah, it's the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I want to say it's the 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd
Well,
of
guess
September.
what happens on the 19th?
What
this
happens?
beautiful girl named Randi Okray was born. So that's my birthday, September the 19th. So because I'm leaving for New York that weekend. Let's do it on Thursday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Okay.
Go, Randy. Go, Randy.
Looks like a
It's your
DJ.
birthday.
He actually
It's your
does.
birthday. It's your birthday. It's your
moon
birthday.
boots
She cute. She fun. It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Hey, hey.
I am Mr. Boots to you guys.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Now, listen, ladies, I know we could talk about EDM music. We could talk about music for hours and hours and hours, but we have a duty to all of our listeners out there, and that is to give the current events of the week. Is that not right?
What is our
Correct,
duty?
Amanda.
Yes, we need to do it. So, Randy, what's going on in the news?
Well, you know, my story is probably not the best, like, exciting story, but y'all, it is our reality. How many of us have college debt?
I've paid all mine off now.
I paid mine off,
Okay,
too.
sir, turn to Mike.
example.
Next, who else is in debt with college? Who has student loans?
I do not.
You paid it off too?
Look,
Okay.
look, we've got some of our guest audience here. They're raising their hands.
Why
They're
do
with
I
you.
pull along?
We are completely split
not
here.
alone.
Okay, well, you know, that's
You're
college
never
debt,
alone.
but debt in general. Do we all have some debt in general?
Absolutely.
Yo, absolutely.
Dang,
for
I
sure.
swear here. Okay, well, listen, you're not alone because Americans are more in debt than ever. And guess what the experts are saying the reason why?
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 It's a money disorder.
A money disorder? Like,
Huh?
so
What's
what?
a money
what the
disorder,
heck?
right?
Yeah, what is that, Radio?
Well, the correct term.
Oh, there's an expert over there.
Right, actually, well, Brad Klontz is the expert of a mind of a matter. So he says that a money disorder is an umbrella term for recurring and self-defeating issues that people have money with. So if you shop too much, you're always loaning money out to people that you don't have any.
How about a little personal responsibility? If you don't have money to do something, then you just don't do it. That's I know a lot of people And especially, so I've got a younger sister and a younger brother that are Gen Zers, and we think it's bad. And a lot of times the older generations make fun of us as millennials, right? I love Gen Z. I think they're great. I think they have a lot of potential. But I noticed that they are extremely irresponsible with money at this point. And this is early in the game. And the fact that they're saying that it's a disorder
I know.
for
Oh my.
not spending too much. But no, you just have to know. You have to look at your bank account and make choices. I mean, there's usually beer specials when you go out of these places like that. Sometimes you have to get the cheap stuff, folks. I mean, you're hearing it here first. Go for the cheap thing. I remember, come on, we were all in college at one point. We all had those nights where you had $10 with you and you had to make it last.
You got that Bad Dial 2020.
Right, exactly. Your favorite bartender might not be getting tipped very much that night, but still, though, at least she would take care of you the entire time out there.
There needs to be more education. I read an article the other day. There definitely needs to be either a college course or a high school course where you're learning how to be responsible with your funds.
I think high school course for sure.
Right?
Absolutely agree.
I don't think I had. Did you guys ever take a class like that?
No.
No, I think
didn't.
that
My sorority offered it. Yes.
That's nice.
But that's the meanest sorority, so.
I think that practical skills like that are dying off, and
Absolutely.
it's sad to see. I think that a lot of people really need to focus on how to use money correctly, because I mean, there's so many people out there that are becoming very wealthy just because they're a little bit smarter than the average person with their money. And you can make it last. You can go out, you can find the right scene that you want to do. You can balance your entertainment, and you can also balance your life stuff. You can't always be in this party boy or party girl mode the entire time. So I think
unless you got it like that, but yeah, go ahead.
right, unless you're super wealthy, which at that point
Not wealthy.
Well,
you forgot us women, they pay for it. We just pull up. Okay.
Exactly.
all right. On that note, Nicolea, what's next?
So this is going to shift gears a little bit, but I have another story on deep fake technology, which is terrifying to me. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say this particular video, I could kind of tell it was a fake. I had the context, though. So it's Bill Hader. He's in an interview. It's like a late night talk show. And as he's talking, his face morphs into Tom Cruise. It's really creepy.
Oh.
But I can kind of tell the difference, obviously, between
Why?
the
Because
two
you had
of
those
them.
big old headphones on? Is that why you
That's exactly
you
why.
could tell over there?
Thank you.
Is that what it is?
Yes, that's exactly why. And aside from that, I just think it's not one of the best that I've seen. But I would think Gen Zers, millennials, we could probably spot it. Maybe the generations above us who can't see as well. Oh, God. Probably not going to be able
Listen, we are not
tell
going
the
to age shame here on
I'm
the
not
Power
age shaming.
Pod, okay? You are
I'm just
age shaming
saying.
to our audience, to our wonderful audience. We love our baby boomers. We love our Gen Xers. We love our millennials. And we love our Gen
We love
Zers.
you all.
Yeah,
I
no,
totally
we
agree.
apologize for Nicole's age shaming. We're going to take a break, and we're going to regroup here and talk about this, because, listen, HR is coming down. I already hear them. I already hear the footsteps coming. So we'll be right back here on the Power Pod.
HR is a baby boomer, though, right?
I love his irreverent sense of humor, as well as its relevance.
The Von Hessler Doctrine.
His humor is hilarious.
One of the funniest people in all of radio.
Making listeners laugh every day.
Keeps me laughing when I'm sitting in traffic. The guys in Autumn are just funny.
The whole team, they're great.
The humor finds a way to center it and make you reevaluate your own opinion.
9 to noon.
They make the morning just go by so much easier.
On 95.5 WSB, Atlantis News and Talk.
I'm Jesse.
And I'm Brandon.
And if you're a parent, check out Dadsplaining a Fatherhood podcast.
We're two first-time dads trying to figure out fatherhood.
Every week we talk about parenting topics like sleep training and tantrums, and interview other moms and dads to hear their parenting stories.
We're definitely not experts on fatherhood, but we do like to share what we've learned so far.
So if you're looking for a parenting podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously, search for Dadsplaining a Fatherhood podcast.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
The Power Pod on WSB Radio. Join the show at 800 WSB Talk or leave a comment using the open mic feature on the WSB Radio app.
I'm surprised they let Nicole back in the building. Her security badge still works. We apologize to all those that are a little bit older than us for what she had to say. Now, I'm going to let you try to redeliver what you wanted to say about these deep fakes, okay? Go ahead,
To make this
Nicole.
a little more newsworthy, there is an expert in the article who does say What's worrisome is this is all going to become much more readily available and easier to use. So consider that we would have video content and audio content that's 100% from scratch, which is really terrifying to me.
Well, that's why it's so important for you for us as just people in general, and for you out there listening to stay up to date on tech news and tech blogs and whatnot.
Right.
So that way you stay ahead of these guys, because the second you start falling behind and you refuse to adapt to the changes that are happening around us, I'm sorry, the world keeps turning. The changes are going to happen. So it's up to all of us here to make sure that we change with it to ensure ourselves that we protect ourselves. Now, Tina, I know you've got an amazing story over there, so I don't
know about amazing.
You work in the fashion industry, so I got to hear this story. I know you got a good one.
So I know almost everyone in the studio right now is wearing underwear, right?
Uh-uh.
No.
Well, I can't really assume that. You're right, Randy. You make a good point. But I have an amazing statistic and study I'd like to share with you guys. This article says that nearly half of people don't change their underwear daily, and that some wear the same pair for a week straight.
Oh,
Oh my God.
So let that sink in literally for a second. And also the maker of Tommy John reports that around half of the people in the U.S., 45%, don't change their underwear daily.
And I heard, too, in this survey that it's much worse with men than women. But,
of
you
course.
know, you guys got to change things up a little bit more. You know, it's for us, it's like we could turn the things inside out. We can, we could do the smell test a little bit. Whereas for y'all, I think it'd be a little harder for y'all because, it's a lot more stuff going on down there for y'all.
Things are going in places that, it gets a little gross.
Convoluted.
I think that the common denominator should be maybe like every 6 months you change out your undies. Like throw them in the trash and then get a new pair. I mean, do y'all do that?
No, I like the every 6 months.
Every 6 months. That's what hygienists say.
And see, that's what the Power Pod's all about, is we try to give advice to our listeners out there to let them know that.
I'm not going to lie, at first I thought you meant change your underwear.
I was like, Tina,
no.
I was like, whoa.
Ew, I'm going to throw up on the mic. No, I think the normal life cycle of a underpant is 6 months.
Really? I'm really taking this in. I did not know that.
Yes,
because I'm like, you're bleaching
so how old are some of your
Get
underpants?
out of my business.
Come
Okay,
on, Randy.
all you need to know is I'm not wearing the same underwear every single day.
Randy, it's just the four of us talking now. It's okay.
I'm gone on somewhere.
Listen, have you had?
I have some undies. Like I have
baby boomer underwear.
I have my,
What, like, do you have like your mom's granny panties or something?
You have your women. We have our when ain't flows in town. We have those underwear, right?
Yes.
And so I mean, they're reusable. I had them about a year or so.
Ant flow underwear. You have laundry underwear when you've got nothing else to wear and you just throw on stuff that you never like to wear.
Yes.
Yep.
So come on, you guys have got to be guilty of doing the smell test at least once or twice.
I do smell. Just don't want to make sure everything I'm right before he come over.
On that note, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back, and we'll do our smell test of our own here on the Power Pod.
The Power Pod on WSB Radio. Join the show at 800-WSB-TALK or leave a comment using the open mic feature on the WSB Radio app.
Y'all, if you could see what was going on in this studio now, I mean, these women that I work with now, they're literally comparing their pants right now. They're like, I didn't wear underwear. And it's just, I try to be a professional. We do work for WSB Radio in Atlanta, the biggest news talk radio station in the country. And, I try to teach professionalism, but you just can't do it. You just can't do it around here. I've got Nicole and Christina comparing things. Randy's like, I've got granny panties from 1995. And I'm like, okay, all right. The fact that you wouldn't be honest with our audience and let them know about this is shameful for you guys. I think that this is.
At least you're here to hold us accountable, Jared. Thank you for that.
You know
so
what?
much.
I'm so glad that we are bringing some testosterone in now, because this is the Modern Dating in Atlanta special. Should we call it 2.0 or just had the men speak? What do you guys think? The men speak. Okay.
Need a drink? You want a drink?
Oh, no.
I'll get you a drink. What, vodka soda?
No.
Oh, man.
No?
Come on, it's just a drink.
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you.
I need a drink, too. I'll get you a drink.
Honestly.
I just have to say this. You're really beautiful.
Oh, wow, that's very sweet. Thank you.
I'm kind of funny looking.
This place is nice.
Yeah. I really like the music that they play. Welcome to Dating in Atlanta.
So we had the ladies on, as I said before, and they made some great points. I think the crux of their argument was when it came to dating apps is they wanted more men to approach them in public places, and they wanted more men to make the first move, too. Those were kind of the main things that both...
A little bit of dating app, dislike, all of that.
Oh, and the grocery store conversation.
yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad that the men are going to come onto this because it's so hard, to go up to somebody who's in the meat section and be like, "Oh yeah, that tilapia looks great." I'm going to go talk to you now. So thank goodness we have our two wonderful guests coming on today. We've got a familiar face first. He helped launch the Power Pod back when we started, so many episodes ago, and he is a single man, so we figured he'd be perfect for this episode. George Clark, welcome back, man.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. Yes, excited to be on the mic here at the Power Pod.
Dude, we're excited to have you back, and we're excited to hear some of your stories because you've got, first of all, your crazy living situation is something we're going to have to get into at some point or another. I'm literally writing it down
I anticipated this.
To make sure. Yes, I hope you did because it is a bizarre one for those out there listening. And over there, look, I see him. This is the great, the one and only Mike Boozer, WSB traffic reporter here.
Hey.
Dude, I am so happy that you came on. Also on the great Black Educated and Broke podcast with Randi over there. Excellent podcast. If you guys haven't had a chance to listen to it out there, make sure you download it. Mike and Randi are fantastic together. And Mike, you're a single man as well out there.
I am.
Dude, well, I'm excited. So for the audience, do you care if they call you Mike B, or because on the podcast you go by Mike B, or do you want to go by Mike Boozer? What do you want to be called today, man?
It does not matter. I wear so many hats, so I have 3 different names.
Well, I love it, man. This is going to be awesome. So you're hardcore in the dating scene as well, right? So are you out there? How many dates per week do you think you're going on right now on average?
There are no dates per week right now.
No, what's going on?
It is strictly career.
Strictly career. So
it is strictly career.
You were telling me before we started the segment, I didn't know this about you, by the way. Which, by the way, I want to learn more about you. You seem like a really cool dude.
I've been trying to get on this show. You know.
You have found your way in, my friend. I've heard great things about you. You sound, first of all, amazing on WSB Triple Team Traffic here in Atlanta and BEB, as I said before, just amazing. But so I found out that you are an educator.
I am an educator.
And you do this full time first, right?
Full time. No, that's the side hustle. I got to pay the bills.
So what? So I figured that women would melt if they knew that you were, teaching young kids. I mean, how young are the kids that you're teaching?
I'm in elementary school.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. See, look already. Look, you see that? You're lucky that Nicole is married over there. Look, she's melting. She's staring right at you, man. That's a lady killer right there, man.
It is sometimes. This is the new Atlanta. I'm old Atlanta. This is the new Atlanta. It just depends. Because speaking of grocery store, I go in the grocery store a lot.
Okay.
In Atlanta.
Good.
Whole Foods and Publix and Target. And listen, I get a lot of numbers at Whole Foods and Publix and Target.
I told y'all the grocery store.
No, the grocery store is where it's at. Now going into that meat section, you don't meet them there.
Yeah, more like the Nilla wafer section, right?
Yeah, you got to be where the snacks are.
Cheez-It.
Where the Cheez-Its, the bread. You got to go where the snacks are because you got to see what kind of snacks she keep in her house.
Yeah, that's right. You got to see what she's all about. There's so many jokes. I'm avoiding them right now just to make sure that we stay FCC compliant. Now, George Clark. So you're in this bizarre dating scenario now, and I mean, have you gone on any dates recently? I mean, Mike just said he's going on 0 dates per week. I mean, have you gone on any dates recently?
Yeah, I've been out with women since I've landed in this bizarre scenario.
Okay, so look, he's making me go for it. I have to go for it now, George.
Yes, I want to know what's going on.
So, George, you broke up with your girlfriend when you were an intern here at WSB, and I want to say that was probably 4 or 5 months ago now. It's been a while.
It's been a while, maybe. Yeah, around that.
Yeah, around that time. And you guys are still living together? I mean, that's got to be, Buzz Killington there.
Yeah, I was an intern at the time. I was not working a ton, so I didn't have a ton of money to move out as soon as we broke up.
But you're still living with her.
And, well, she broke her wrist recently, and then she was out of the house for a long time because of that, which was convenient just because I had the house to myself. So It's been kind of weird. Like, 1 week she'll be there, the next month she won't be. So it is an odd situation. It's just a matter of saving up a little money. Now that I'm working a little more, and then I'm out of there. So
I just gotta ask that. How does her breaking her wrist? She not at the house as much. I don't.
I apologize. She wouldn't spend time at her parents. She was with her parents. They were taking care of the wrist. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait.
Yeah,
that's right. And you stay at the house. That's right.
So does that mean though that what happens if you have a good night and you find somebody late night and she's there? I mean, and you bring a damsel in and
I haven't done that just yet.
Not ever, George. That's
what are you
rude.
doing?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't think I'm not planning on doing that either.
job.
It's just not worth.
Wait, why not? Come on, I know Mike's got my. I know Mike's got my back on this
one.
one.
That foolishness, right, Mike?
If they are broken up,
we are broken up.
Yeah, then that means that anyone's fair game, and I would say the same scenario for her too. If she were to bring a guy home, then George, you just have to turn the other way and be like, or step out, or go to a buddy's house or something like that.
That's right. How many bedrooms?
I don't know.
How many bedrooms?
Just the one.
Oh, whoa, wait a minute.
Wait,
Hold up.
so wait, are you on the couch or?
Yeah, I've spending time on the couch. There's a pull-out couch.
Oh, okay, it's a bed.
So it's not the worst. It's not the end of the world.
When she was gone, did you sleep in the bed though?
Hell yeah.
You had to establish a little bit of dominance there
Yeah.
when she was gone. That's good. No, I think that when people are broken up, there's this misconception that when you're living with someone like that like there's strings still attached. No, there are no strings attached anymore at that point. You're a free man. You could bring home whoever you want at this point, and if she gets jealous, she gets jealous at that point.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And vice versa. No, go ahead, Red.
No, hell to the no, no to the no,
Why not?
no.
Why not?
Okay, first of all, in his particular situation, he said he didn't really have a job. He didn't. Put the bell down. He said he didn't have a job. He didn't, have the money at the time. So you ain't paying bills. You about to bring a chick up in here? Hell no. Actually, number two, though, it's a respect situation. Because me and my ex, when we broke up, and he tried to bring he didn't even bring her home. He was on the phone at 12 o'clock in the morning. I wrote a whole broken lease agreement like he needed to sign because I moved out. You are not going to disrespect me because we're not together, but it's respect.
But Randy-o, I mean, come on. All you need is love.
Yeah, we'll go to her house and get that love, okay?
And also, no strings attached, but I have to wonder if not that this would happen, but you guys both come home from the bars one night, a lot of alcohol involved, and you're used to each other. You're familiar. What if something happened?
Yeah.
That's the
Can
string.
we go there? Can we go there, George Clark?
I've made it a bit of a sticking point to not let that happen, just because it's got to be done. It hasn't happened. No.
Okay, good for you for at least holding to your. I mean, it's hard. I mean, there's going to be some moments where those old feelings are going to start, bubbling up a little bit, and you're gonna be like, well,
and,
a lot of tequila, a lot of tequila.
Yeah, see, Mike knows all about this. Now, Mike,
Nicole likes tequila.
Have you been in a scenario like this before? Because I just think
no,
that
I have not.
I think 4 months. I mean, that's a long time.
That's a long time
to be in that type of scenario.
4 is pushing it. I am getting to the end of the rope, but I didn't have the motivation. She left for a long time, which was nice. I had the whole house to myself, but now it's the threat is back. She's like
the threat is back.
She might be coming back any week now. It's time to get out, but it's hard to find a room that's cheap.
I know, child.
Moving.
Move into a Whole Foods.
Hey.
And then you're right there. You bring her home.
What? Georgie Porgy still trying to be run over these women. Trying to get a woman to do what?
I pay half the bills. I still do.
Okay. But can I ask this out of curiosity? Because I think for the situation to be comfortable or not comfortable, it kind of depends how you broke up. If you broke up because she cheated on you, okay, well then we're not going to get intimate ever again. But if you broke up just because you guys thought you were growing apart, it's easier to be more tolerable now.
Yeah,
it
was a cheating situation. So you nailed it. Like I just.
That's what I'm saying. Like who is this? She disrespected you, so I think that gives you full license to do whatever the hell you want in the place that you pay rent in. And I know Mike's got my back. Like I know it's 3 men versus 3 women.
Mike, he don't have your back.
I got you. No, I got his back.
Yeah, 100%.
She cheated. She cheated. Oh yeah, listen. You have all the company you want on that couch. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like afraid of her. It's just
awkward.
Are you guys on any of the dating apps? We found out from both Rose and Brittany in our previous special that these women were very open to using these dating apps. And, each of them had their own purposes. Like, as Brittany admitted before, she said, hey, like, if I want to hook up, I'm going to Tinder. If I want, something that's going to be a nice date, then I'm going to go to Bumble instead. And Rose kind of, to an extent, had the same feeling about that. Now, Mike, are you doing any of the dating apps like that?
I have never done any dating site.
But you're not dating anybody during the week, so is it just because you're too busy, or why?
I've never been interested. I've heard people, their Tinder stories, and Plenty of Fish and Bumble, and there's so many websites.
Okay, Cupid's a big one too.
I've never been interested in making a profile.
Farmers Only? You thought about that one before?
What?
Listen, I did think about Christian Mingle one time, but I said, I'm not gonna waste my money on this. No. I can go meet somebody at church for real. Yeah. But
now, how old are you? Just so that way
I
everybody...
am 29.
You're 29, and George, you're 26, correct?
26, correct.
Yeah, so, you guys are a similar age. Now, are you on the apps, George? Are you...
I have dabbled in the apps. Yeah.
Okay, so are you doing it now? I mean, or are you...
I
are you
have
talking
one
about
now, but it's not something that I check every day. It's like a thing that, it's like a video game, killing some time in
That's
line.
how guys probably really think. Thank you for telling us that.
Yeah, see, we're getting some real insight here. I like this.
So, Bumble.
Yeah, order a nice pizza, sit on the couch, just swipe a little bit on there. Oh, so which apps are you using now?
I've used Tinder, and then I've done I've had a Bumble, and I've done the Hinge too. So those three, I guess.
Look, George, you're dodging my question though. What are you using currently now? Like, I mean, this situation.
Right now, I've got Tinder downloaded, but I mean,
you're not using it regularly, right? You know that there's a fee. Actually, Randi was talking about on a previous show that you can only swipe, I think, 20 times now before
the
they.
guys have
like
a
20
fee.
or 25.
Yeah,
or
they put
like
it.
Before they charge you now. So are you swiping that much where you're getting charged, or I mean,
I just use my allotted.
Is this a long term?
I'm not trying to sink my money into it. I'm not banking on it.
This isn't like a long term investment for you, is it?
No.
I wonder. So that's really interesting because the women were all about it, which. Mike, I mean, you and I are about the same age here. I'm 30, and I kind of thought the same way. Like, I was never into the apps. I was more of the kind of dude that goes up and approaches somebody at a bar. And honestly, I felt like I had an advantage because a lot of other guys out there don't do that. They're afraid to make the first move. Yeah. And again, as the women before had mentioned, they said, why don't guys make the first move? So, Mike, we'll start with you, man. Like, I mean, I think it could be quite intimidating. Like, you're not sure if you're getting the eyes and whatnot from a girl, which I think instigates the first move. But I'm curious. I mean, so if you see a girl making eyes at you, would you make the first move, and why or why not?
I'm approaching. Depending on where I am, I'm gonna make the approach. I think a lot of guys don't make that move. Like you said, intimidation, but also a lot of guys nowadays they get so much attention. And it's like, why make the first move?
Do you think
she needs to come over here?
Yep.
Do you think that's just because Atlanta has so many more women than men?
That could be a reason. Here in Atlanta, I've been out here in Atlanta when I go out of town and I travel. I have a good time. So once the tequila is flowing, I'm gonna walk up on you. I'm gonna say something.
Me too.
You are so cute.
Now, George, what about you? So, are you? Are you prone to if you've got a cute girl who's making eyes at you?
I am not afraid to walk up. No,
you're not afraid to walk up. Okay,
I'll
what were these women talking about then? These women were talking about. I mean, it sounds like they didn't meet you guys then.
I don't know what clubs they're going to, but that's the thing. Like, and I don't go to clubs anymore. I did that in the early 20s, and it was popular with a lot of friends. They got to get the section. Randi, you got to get the section and do all that. I don't do that anymore. If the bar don't have a parking lot, I'm not going. I'm not going. So, but I'm one of those people meeting people because I still get in the DMs every now and then. But I go to a lot of get-togethers. I have a home where I host a lot of stuff, so people are always bringing people over. So it's like this one friend to come and they bring 6 friends with them, and it's like, oh, okay, well, you brought 6 women. Now who's single? That's my first question. And it's like, well, yes, this is my home. And then another thing I like to do is cook.
Yeah. Oh, so okay. Yeah. Now that definitely works.
So they walk in there.
So
who
the power pot over and.
we might need to make that happen.
For real, because Mike can cook, y'all. Like, we went to his house. He had that barbecue. Them bones, chicken was falling off the bone. It was so good.
I lay it out. So, I said I throw my skills out there.
And
I
you're
try
getting-
to be humble, but, I'm going to impress you a little bit now.
And you're getting 0 dates a week with
Well,
you being able
I'm
to
turning
cook?
them down. I choose to be
Okay,
single
there we go. Now
right
we're getting some truth
Yeah.
right now. Okay, so why choose to be single now, out of curiosity? 29 years old, got a lot of success going on in your life. Why not jump on the dating
I
scene?
tried the commitment early, very early. Like, I wanted to get married and everything. You talking about 19, 20 years old.
Okay.
And so when we split at 22, it was like I was at home being we were playing surrogate parents and playing husband and wife, and we should have been out having a good time and traveling, and we didn't do that. So I have been single for 7 years. From 22 to 29. I have been single for over 7 years, and I have enjoyed every last bit of it. In the last few years, getting back into radio, focusing on my career, it's all about me right now. I've helped raise kids, nieces and nephews. I got so many nieces and nephews. I don't keep count anymore. Godchildren. I'm focusing on me.
Now, for the ladies out there, is that a good trait for Mike to be going that way? Because a lot of times women feel, and again, the ladies that were on before, we're going to have more on in the future. Now, is that a bad thing for a guy to say that he's focused on himself? Or is that, what do you guys think? We'll start with Nicole over there.
I don't know. I think as you're self-aware, which I think is the best part of what you just said too, is that, and you're upfront about it, that this is just where I'm at in life. And I think that's maybe, I remember from dating when I was single, sometimes you can't get a straight answer out of someone.
What?
And it just seems like you're getting mixed signals. And so I can appreciate that you're straightforward and this is what I want and this is where I'm at. And I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
Now, Christina, how do you feel about this scenario? You've obviously dabbled in the dating scene and stuff like that. Years ago. Now, what? Now,
supposed to mean?
Now, if a guy comes up to you, because I respect what Mike's talking about 100%. I plenty of dudes out there that say that exact same thing. Like, I'm focused on me right now. But to some women, I have a feeling they might feel differently. How do you feel about something like that?
I can agree with what Nicole said, and I think for me personally, it was very important for me to know myself and know myself first before I give myself to somebody. And I think what you're saying is admirable, and I think that's a great trait, and I think more men should have that mentality.
Now, Randy, what do you think?
Okay, like, I agree to a certain extent.
There we go. There we go.
I agree to a certain extent. I do love that you're very transparent, you're open and honest, because people be just full of lies, honey. So the fact that you can say, listen, I'm working on myself. But then it kind of gets to a point like, okay, when does that change? Now, I think at 29, even though, Mike, we know you more like 49, y'all don't know this about Mike.
Now, this not Black Educated and Broke. This is the Power Pod.
But they gotta know, Mike is an
Thank you, Mike.
old soul, though. Mike is an old, so he's 29, but he really cares still like a 49, 59-year-old man. Like, he's just him with the game plan. He's focused. So, but at 29 years old, I think that's okay. That's acceptable. Like, I think you need to focus on yourself. But I think some men use that line, some of them, for so long, and then still, kind of trailing girls around. Like, I'm focused on me, but I'm gonna take you on a date. I'm focusing on me, but I'm gonna sleep with you. I'm focusing on me, but we
It's
still
like
gonna spend time.
They want their cake and
eat it too. And then here we are 10 years later. I'm working on me, but you know what I'm saying? So
No,
that's
it
what the
is.
issue.
It's a lot of guys that do that, but like you said, I'm very, and I appreciate that, being self-aware, because I have two of my best friends. They are married.
Mm-hmm.
They are married. They have children. I have cousins getting married, and so it's trickling.
Yeah.
And so then it comes to me, and family is like, well, what you gonna do? But I'm secure with mine. There's no pressure on me. They try to put the pressure on me about marriage and children, but it's like, Mike, you getting married? No, I'm not.
Yeah,
Not right now.
You can't allow people to put that pressure on you just because in their life and in their frame of mind, they feel that this is the right time. Everybody's time to get married and have kids is very different.
Exactly.
Especially one of the advantages that we have as men is that we could still be having kids when we're 80. So we're whereas you guys ladies
stop working, honey.
Yeah, about
40 about even flow.
40 years old, and you guys are pretty much done at that point.
Not pretty much, but possibly. Come on now.
Possibly done. Okay. Well, listen, you know your bodies better than I do. Now, George, I'm curious. I think Mike gave some great insight on that. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you're focusing on you now? Obviously, a hard breakup, but it sounds like you've been on more dates than Mike has been to this point in the last, let's just take a frame of mind of 3 months, right? In the last 3 months, it sounds like you've been on more dates. Do you think you've had enough time to work on yourself, or do you think that Mike's advice is good? I mean, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I've been on dates, but it's not like I'm looking for another girlfriend or anything, so it's not like a thing like that. So there is a sense of like working on myself. You know, obviously I've got to save up some money, get out of this situation, get a new place, this next week is my last week of my last class for college ever. So,
well, congratulations!
Wow.
Yeah, so that's all exciting stuff. That's kind of in that realm of working on yourself. Yeah. So yeah, I've got a little bit of that going on, but I'm sure at some point it'll be looking for a lady to a degree.
Can I ask a question to you, Jared? I know we're talking about the man, but you're a man, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa. Today I identify as a man.
So I want to.
Hey, it's 2019. Genders can be thrown on any single any kind of gender I want to be.
Point of privilege, Jared. No.
Yeah.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
But I want to ask.
Please don't use gendered language.
Earlier today, when we was in a traffic center, some people that are working here was asking, like Alex, Alex in traffic just recently got engaged.
Alex Williams, yeah.
Right. So we were talking, and they was like, "Well, tell Jared, when are you getting married?" Like, how do you feel, Jared? Because I feel like from working with you, I think you get different pressures from everything too. So how do you?
Of course. Well, because I work with so many different people in different age groups.
Yeah.
So I think it's a blessing in disguise because you have obviously Eric Von Hessler. If you listen to the main show that I'm on. He puts pressure on me, but he's coming from the perspective where he's 55 years old. He's been married for 30 years. He's been with the same woman since he was 21 years old. So his path was different. I agree with Mike on that. I think that, first of all, marriage is expensive. Like you've got to be able to pay for all that stuff, and that's insanely expensive. Second of all, the moment is going to feel like you're going to know in that right moment when the time is right. And you can't rush that stuff. You can't let outside pressure build up on you like that and let other people influence your decision. Sure, obviously your partner is going to have a say in all that stuff, but it has to be right for both people in that case. So I think that that's the best approach. And when the time is right, it will happen. Mike, I totally agree with you 100% on that. And what I'm really curious to find out with, we asked the women of this. So what is your ideal woman? And we'll start with you, George. Like, what are you looking for right now? Like, you're single man, you're out there on the streets, and you're enjoying that. What are you looking for right now?
A beautiful woman that I don't know.
Who's like your celebrity
You knew I was
crush?
Gonna go there.
Celebrity crush.
That'll help give us an idea.
Yes, like a visual.
No, but it could be personality traits, maybe beautiful.
No,
beauty.
it needs to be physical first, and then.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Totally.
And they say we're shallow, Mike.
No. I'm kidding.
I can't think of like a particular celebrity that I'm into, but somebody that isn't like a lot of women now aren't willing to embrace their feminine side. You meet a lot of these women that are like trying to, do that whole thing.
Oh, so you want a dainty girl, huh?
Like somebody that isn't, like likes to cook and clean to a degree. I don't know if that sounds bad.
Not
like
like
a housewife.
Yeah,
not like a housewife.
I'm giving George a hard time.
George, don't say yes. But yeah, like you mean somebody who's like she's domesticated. She doesn't mind cooking, cleaning.
Yeah, that to a degree. I mean, because a lot of the time when you're in the dating scene, especially like when you're getting older, these women don't realize that that's something that people are looking for, and that holds them back.
You're real independent women. Like, I can do it. I'm not cooking for no man. All this.
Yeah.
It is an interesting stage of, I guess not political correctness. What would be the right term? This gender equality movement. It's a wonderful thing that women are going through this. But at the same time, though, as a man, like it kind of feels like, well, okay, well, where do I fit in the equation now? So sometimes women tend to step on themselves when they could meet a great guy that probably thinks highly of y'all. I'm looking at all the women in there that probably thinks highly of y'all. But because you're all about this movement like that, you step on yourself and you don't allow yourself to be approached like that. Is that what you're trying to say, George?
Exactly. Yeah, Jared wrapped it up well.
Good.
Can I just tell you something? What I was trying to do, which I didn't even know you had a girlfriend at the time, but actually we're broken up, but we had an intern. I secretly was trying to put you guys together.
What happened?
I think I know what intern you're talking.
Right. I said, you like grungy looking man. I said, Georgie Poo? She's like, who? I said, excuse me. His name is the real George Clark. I said, and then I showed her your Instagram. She's like, he definitely has my look, but I have a boyfriend, right? I said, oh, okay. But yeah, I was trying, and she had a boyfriend. So, but I tried, and she was cute. You remember her?
I do. Yeah, I think I know you're talking
Yeah,
about.
the blonde hair.
Yeah, listen, WSB, like for the intern love, there's a history
There
of
were some
that.
nice interns this year.
There's history of intern love at WSB, especially with all the different departments. So you just gotta watch the salespeople, though. Oh my gosh, the sales interns are they're
Excuse me.
Yeah. They're crazy over there.
Yeah, I hear about these love connections around here. I'm gonna stay right there in that studio.
Now, Mike, what is it? So you said you're focusing on yourself. You really want. I mean, what is it that you want in a woman, though? Like, I mean, obviously, you wouldn't come on the show if you weren't out there looking a little bit, right? So what is it that you want?
Oh yeah, a little bit. I'm Randy talking about dragging
over 40.
on.
The woman
no.
has to be over 40.
So I
Gotta be
joke a lot
believed.
with my friends and on our podcast. I love older women, but I'm trying to get these student loans paid, so that's why I'm recruiting. But
Sugar mom is good.
Hey, nothing wrong with it.
No, not at all.
Women have these
Everyone
sugar
needs-
daddies, so why we can't have a sugar mom?
Everyone needs love.
You know what I'm saying? I believe in that. So there's a couple I'm gonna tell them to call me. They work for the View. But of course we say looks. We talk about looks, and then we're educated, so you want education and just where you can have a conversation. For me, I think one thing I know that I'm looking for is somebody that won't force me but help me compromise. A lot of people, we look into all kind of things, but I need to, like football season, I hit the road. Like I work all the time, and then it's like, well, what you doing Saturday? Oh, I'm out of town for a football game.
So she needs to be cool then. Like she needs to be able to relax and understand that you've got a life outside of her.
No, but help me compromise.
Yeah,
It gets to that point. Like if we first start off dating, because I actually tried to date a young woman in 2016. And I'm like, we're just dating. There's not a relationship or whatever, but there was like an issue when I went out of town. Like I took you out. We went out Friday night. Usually I hit the road Friday night. And then of course my work schedule. Now I'm working on Friday night. So it was like took you out Friday night. Saturday morning, I'm in the road. I'm in Tennessee. I'm in South Carolina. I'm somewhere for
you did your
football
business.
game. Did my business.
Get in, get
and
out.
then it was like an issue that I went out of town, and I'm like, you're not the one for me. It's not going to work out. But help me compromise, because if it gets to that point where the relationship gets serious, then I want you to be able to say, all right, it's 8 games this season. You don't have to go to all 8.
Or let me go with you to some.
Or come with me to a game, and then also if I'm gonna stay at home, let's be able to do something fun. I'm adventurous. I like hanging out. We don't have to go to the club because I'm not a club goer, and I don't have to go to the bar all the time. I got a bar at the house.
Right.
But let's do something adventurous. Let's go swimming with the belugas at the aquarium. You know what I'm saying? I like doing stuff like that. So let's be more open-minded. If you want me to be open-minded, also be open-minded with me.
I love it.
Right.
Now, George, it's hard to beat the situation that you're in.
Right.
But if you could try, you could be like, okay, this is exactly what you don't want in a woman. Because this was another popular question that people were asking from the last episode was, like the traits that they don't want to see in a man. So these are the traits that you don't want to see in a woman here.
The first one that comes to mind is like the heavy drinker, where you get on the date, and then hour in, it's like, all right, this is no longer a date. This is like a babysitting situation. Like,
yes.
Okay.
So
Yes.
that's all.
Preach.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there. Other than that, it's just the person that's always trying to challenge you. That's not like doesn't want to go on a date. They just want to have an argument or something like that to a degree. Like where everything you bring in, that doesn't vibe with this angle, and so that's kind of annoying.
Those are great ones there, Mike. I mean, you got to. I mean, what are things that you don't want to see in a potential lady prospect?
Well, I like the drinking. These women taking shots like soldiers now. So, but I'm with you about the being challenged. I don't want to be challenged either. Why are we arguing today? Why are we fussing? Yeah, let's have a good time. But I think for me, to be in the relationship, one thing, don't compare me to your dad. Dude, I understand it's a lot of women out there with great dads, and my grandfather was amazing. But I tell my family now, don't compare me to him. I want to be able to stand on his shoulders, but I have my own path, and your dad had a path. If your dad is great, I want to be just as good, but you're his daughter. You have the potential to be my partner. don't compare me to your dad or your dad and your mom's relationship. That's a no for me.
That's some great wisdom there. Like that's the first time I've heard that. But you're right. It is a big turnoff when you hear that, because a lot of times, I mean, you're never going to break through the daddy-daughter relationship like that, and nor should you. As a guy, you shouldn't try to break through that. That's a special bond that is gonna be between those two. You don't want to get in between that. You want to be a partner. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's actually a really good point there.
Mm-hmm. But I have a question for you guys. But just more words of encouragement. Mike B, I think you definitely should continue to focus, because I think for a man, I learned this, a man cannot give you his all until he is financially, physically, mentally secure in himself, his career, everything. If he ain't together, his money ain't right where he want to be, he not going to treat you right. So I like that. Get that. Keep focused on that. Young man, Georgie Pooh. I got to give you kudos, dude, because I know it is a very difficult situation that you're in, and you could make this girl's life a living hell, and you're not doing that, right?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. So I think that's very admirable of you. And I just think if you remember, just stay humble through the situation, keep your head up, like all that good that you're doing, it's gonna come back to you, and you're gonna find a woman to come into your life who's gonna love you for you, who's gonna cook and clean, who wanna go with the flow, who's not gonna cheat on you. So you just remember, like the action that you make now with these encounters of your ex, that can depict what happens in your future. Yes, so play accordingly.
And for the single ladies out there, George is on the dating apps now. Now Mike B, you find him at Whole Foods and Target and all those places like that. If you see him walking around, just go up and approach him like that. He'll be out there and he'll be looking for you.
That Publix on Marietta Street.
See, so you just go up and approach Mike, and you guys might have a great date out there.
I do think it seems like guys are better at being in the moment too. I wonder if that's why girls are more on the apps, because I think guys like more of the in the moment, personal, interpersonal communication, organic. I like that.
Yeah, catch you off guard. If I catch you off guard in the checkout at Publix, self-checkout, what? It's a turn on. I'm good. I'm about to get you now, because then next I can help you to the car, get those groceries in the car, make sure you straight. Don't let it be nighttime.
Bag more those groceries, huh?
Daylight savings, it get dark at 6 o'clock now, so Publix still open at 10. I got it planned out. I be ready.
Well, I love
grocery store game. I love it. It's like your strategy.
I hope that we all learned something here today. I think that, gentlemen, I think you guys did a great job. Great to bring some testosterone into the room and put these ladies in their place here when it comes to talking about this kind of stuff. It was great to have y'all on. You know what we do every single week. Mike, I know you listen to the show. George, I know you were here before. We all put our hands up here in the middle, and I count down. I don't know why we keep doing this on an audio medium, but we all put our hands in here in the middle. You just have to assume that we're doing this here. And we count down and we just say Power Pod together. Can you do that, Mike B?
I'm with it.
All right, then George, here we go. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so 3, 2, 1.
Power
Pod! We'll see you next week for our first college football preview show.
Come on!